So many financial experts are going to tell you that the first thing you need to do to save money is to cut your grocery bill. But maybe you, like me, want to focus on your family's health and buy the best quality food possible. I know this can be difficult in today's economy, especially with inflation. So I'm going to tell you 5 things that our family of 9 doesn't buy or doesn't do in order to make room in our budget for the healthiest food that we can afford. So the first thing that we don't do might be considered a little bit controversial, but I think that many people, especially millennials like myself, are becoming more accepting of it. And that is, we do not have a 529 or any type of college savings account for our children. Now, whether or not you should go to college or do this could be a video all on its own, but I'm going to try to keep it short with the 3 reasons we've decided not to do this. Firstly, we're really unsure if our children will even want to go to college. A college education is not the one-way ticket to a successful career that it once was. And there are so many other opportunities out there these days: digital opportunities, opportunities for online learning, vocational and tech schools, just hands-on training. So we aren't going to make this huge investment into a college education that may or may not happen for our children. On a side note, just looking at the people I know or people I went to high school with, some of the most successful people in my high school or of my friends did not go to college. They worked their way through small businesses, they're bloggers, they did vocational training or hands-on training. And I really do think that college is just one of many ways that you can have a successful career. The second reason we don't do this is that, well, full disclaimer here, I do not have a college degree. I went to college for 1 year before getting married and having my first child. But the people I do know who have college degrees, who have invested in a college degree, the ones that had to work their way through college, get scholarships, they have been much more intentional with their college choices, have made much better choices in their careers after college, and just in general appreciated the education they got, much more than those who just received their college money kind of on a silver platter, so to speak. The last reason we aren't doing a college education fund for our children is that we are actually investing in them now by paying for a private school. I work part-time in order to help pay for my children's private school. And I believe that investing in my children now when they are younger and more vulnerable is going to give them a leg up and help them to make better decisions when they are adults, help them to make better career decisions and work their way through their secondary education if they so choose as adults. Also, of course, my husband and I plan on helping our children after they graduate and they navigate their ways through the world, whether this be with a place to live or transportation, but we are not going to invest large amounts of money in a college savings fund. Let me know your experience with college education degrees, whether or not you had your tuition paid for, and what you think of saving for your children's college education. I'd really like to know. So the next thing we do to make money in our budget for healthy food is we do not buy new furniture. So this is something that we did early on in our marriage, and I found out that most new furniture, unless you're going to spend top dollar, is cheap particle board. Even if it's real wood, it's not well put together. As I said, I have 7 children, 5 of them are boys. The furniture I buy really needs to be sturdy and last the test of time. So now when we need a new piece of furniture, we put an alert on Marketplace, or we look in local buy and sell groups or email list, and just keep our eyes open for older pieces of furniture. You should do a little bit of research when buying used furniture. Look for things that are solid wood, hardwood, have dovetailed drawers, check out the hardware. A little bit of research does go a long way. But in general, if you spend a few $100s on furniture on Marketplace, you are going to get far better quality items than you would get at any furniture store, even a discount furniture store. I know that over the past few years, furniture flipping has really gone into style, but you can still find some really good deals out there. You just need to know what you want and be fast about picking it up when you see it come up, especially if it's a good deal. Look into good brands of furniture. As far as sofas, look into like Flex Steel or Lazy Boy. Usually any antique pieces of furniture are really high quality, especially if they are made early part of this century. Not only are you getting better quality, but I think it just gives your home a lot more character. The next thing we do, and I feel like this one's a little bit controversial as well, but we do not buy new appliances, small appliances, or even large appliances. And many of you may have heard of a term called planned obsolescence, especially if you've looked into minimalism at all. And what this is that manufacturers are actually making their products cheaper and cheaper. They are making the parts more breakable so that you will have to buy new products before you actually need them. Now, I know most manufacturers will say, yeah, a good refrigerator should last 10 to 15 years, but when is the last time that has ever happened for you? One appliance repairman was actually telling my mom that most kitchen appliances are made to last for about 5 to 7 years because that is the normal amount of time people go in between remodeling their kitchen. And I have really found this to be true. I have never had a newer appliance last more than 7 years. So what I do instead is I have looked up really good quality appliance brands. So like the furniture, this is going to take a little bit of research. And there's actually some more niche groups on Facebook and forums. One of them is called automaticwasher.org, and there's a lot of people who are really into older appliances because they are made so much better, and as long as you can find parts, they keep going and going and going. One of the things I learned from one of these groups, for instance, is that the KitchenAid brand up until the late 90s was actually owned by Hobart, which makes commercial kitchen appliances, so super heavy duty. So if you can find anything KitchenAid, like older KitchenAid mixers, they are built to last and will never die. As far as energy, a lot of people will say, oh my goodness, older appliances, yeah, they're made better, but they use up much more energy. There's really a lot of debate about this. A lot of people actually believe that all the energy claims are somewhat misleading and gimmicky, and I don't see how it's going to be energy efficient to buy these new appliances if they're going to break every few years. Even if you get a warranty on them, oftentimes you have to wait weeks for a repairman to come out. The parts may or may not be available when he comes, and then you are stuck for a month or even months going to the laundromat or having to cook all your dinners in the crock pot. So of course, if you're buying used appliances, you're not going to get that perfect matching kitchen, but I really love the eclectic look that the older appliances have given my kitchen. And sometimes maybe you'll find something that's not in a matching color. It's actually really easy to spray paint or just paint appliances these days. With eBay, it's often not too hard to find parts for older appliances as well. And there still are appliance repairmen who will repair these higher quality appliances. And some of my favorite finds have been my mixer here. This is a Magic Mill Assistant, also known as Ankerstorm these days. And it's just so high quality, so heavy duty, really what I need baking bread for 9 people. The parts are still being made and it is still being serviced. I have no doubt that it is going to last for years to come. And my really old appliance here is my absolutely beautiful 70-year-old caloric double oven. I can still find parts for it on eBay if I want. I think she's absolutely beautiful. The next thing that we don't do is what I would call expensive, mindless recreation. That's kind of mean sounding, but we do not do things like movie theaters, video arcades, amusement parks. Recreation is supposed to be recreating yourself after the stresses of daily life. And I find the best ways to do this are by hanging out with family and friends or making new friends, going outdoors or learning new things. And generally these types of recreation are very low cost or free. Our family likes to do a lot of outdoor things, going to the lake, camping. We do a lot with family and friends. We like to go to the library. We have a parish with a very active social life that has a lot of low cost forms of family entertainment. We find things to do in our town or our county that often don't cost a lot or maybe free. I'm actually the oldest of a large family, and this is the type of recreation that I grew up with and really enjoyed. And as I got older and started hanging out with other people whose families did the more expensive types of recreation, the arcades, going to the movies, going to the theme parks, it was really strange to me, and I just found I was often just exhausted after doing these types of recreation. And I really do not feel like we are depriving our children in any way by doing these simpler forms of entertainment. One thing we do spend some money on is music lessons for the kids who are interested. And I find that while this is something they have to work out, it often provides them hours of entertainment as well. And the next thing that we don't do, another kind of controversial one, I think, is we do not do well visits to the doctor. I make one exception for this. I take my newborns into the doctor because I feel like with a newborn, you don't really know what you're getting when they first come into the world. You don't know what type of genetics they got necessarily. And I like to establish a relationship with a good provider. But we do not simply go to the doctor for checkups. We can weigh ourselves at home. I can look at my children and compare them to other children, compare them to my previous children, and see how they are growing. If you're really worried, you can even invest in a stethoscope or ear scope and check that kind of thing on your own at home. But I just do not believe in spending $100 just to go to the doctor and have them tell me that we're doing okay. I mean, the reason that we are trying to save money and buy this higher quality food is so that we will be healthier in the end, hopefully not needing to go to the doctor as often. And if you would like some other tips on ways that our family stays healthy, eats healthy on a budget, I think you would enjoy my other 2 videos in this series.